Yes, so you're welcome. Now, this video is to highlight the difference between a substrate and an enzyme. Most of the time, we hearing substrate, enzyme, for substrates. So this video is to make sure you have a very clear crystal concept pertaining enzymes and a substrate. Now, what is a substrate? A substrate is the substance on which enzymes act on and convert into a product. All right. So a substrate is a substance on which enzymes act on and convert it into a product. Now, this diagram here is to help us to understand the difference between substrates and enzymes. Now, this is an enzyme in the body, for instance. So this enzyme is called salivary amylase. This is an enzyme. Supposing that I've taken starch, so the starch in the body here becomes what? A substrate. Why? Because the enzyme is going to act on the starch and then convert it into a maltose. So the conversion is the product. So the enzyme will act on the substrate, meaning the salivary amylase enzyme will act on starch and convert it into a product, that is a maltose. So anything enzyme is acting on, converting it into different form, is called a substrate. That is why that by definition, the substance or a substance on which enzymes act on and convert it into a product. So here, the enzyme is acting on starch to convert it into maltose, and that's a product. So the enzyme act on substrates and convert it into a product. So I believe this makes sense a lot. Enzymes act on substrates and convert it into product. And a substrate can be anything depending on the type of enzyme. And we have something called a false substrate. That is, by nature, the enzyme is supposed to act on certain substrates alone and convert it into a different product. For instance, an enzyme called dopa decarboxylase. This enzyme called dopa decarboxylase is to act on dopa and convert it into dopamine. So by nature, the enzyme dopa decarboxylase is to act on dopa alone to form a product called dopamine. Sometimes we give a drug, that the drug is going to be as if it is the dopa, but it's not really dopa. It is let's say alpha methyl dopa. It is not a dopa, even though it is dopa, but this drug is having a methyl group attached. So the enzyme called dopa decarboxylase will act on alpha methyl dopa, thinking it is the normal dopa. And at that point, it is going to release a product called alpha methyl dopamine instead of getting dopamine. So when the enzyme works on a substrate, that is not the original substrate the enzyme works on, but some other different substrate that is acting as if it is a natural substrate. The enzyme will work on that substrate, but that substrate is a false substrate. And whenever an enzyme works on a false substrate, they're going to get a false product. So something abnormal. That is the concept behind a substrate, false substrate, and enzyme and product. So note that enzymes will act on substrates break it down to or act on it, and then convert it into a product. So naturally, enzymes have their true substrate, the normal substrate. However, when there is something that is going to act as if it is a normal substrate that particular enzyme works on, but it's not really that substrate, we call that as a false substrate. And whenever enzymes works on a false substrate, we are actually going to get a false abnormal product. Abnormal product. Thank you.